Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jeremy, PeeWee, and Repo. What's up, man?
What's up?
How you guys doing?
What's going on, brother? What's going on?
Good.
Same
What's
shit.
up,
just
Repo? What's up, Jeremy?
What's up, my brother? How are you?
I'm good, bro.
Man, hey, how
I'm
you
good.
guys doing?
Doing great.
Outstanding.
Thanks for the shout out today, Repo. Appreciate it.
What do you shout
they
out to?
blocked a little bit of that video on me.
Yeah, I know, because of the music.
I did a little video about this podcast coming up on my YouTube, and asked them to follow Staxx and a couple other people I got.
Cool.
Right on.
I had music playing in the background, so they copyright blocked part of my video.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that blocking lately.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they are.
It's political, a lot of it.
Shit, they're trying to block the Brothers for Life page.
Wow, you saw that, eh?
No,
You know,
yeah,
I think
brother.
it was. I think it was that video I put up of Will Ferrell when he's with the black family, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm just a poor boy from Terre Haute, Indiana, with a big kind of fat wallet and a spleep the size of a baby's arm."
That's it.
I was thinking, man, when they came to me and they said, "This is the second warning we're giving you," they never ever gave me a first warning, bro. So that's how I know it's bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
But it ain't.
Not
If you
anymore.
watch everything you say, when you say that N-word, boom, you're off right away. You're kicked off for 30 days, you know? Christ, man, I had a picture of Adolf Hitler on a page and they kicked me off.
Yeah.
I commented the snake
we have
emoji and I
Alexis
got
in the
got
house.
in trouble for it.
Well, they would have hated the way we treated the old
Yeah.
website guy.
We unplug
Then.
all the Alexis in the house. That's the reason.
You know, I've been arrested before for calling a girl on Facebook.
Really?
They came to my house, knocked on the
Come
door.
on.
They said, "Did you call her that on Facebook?" I said, "Yeah." They
I've
go,
done it 100 times.
Put your hands behind your back.
Wow.
I got arrested for harassment and threatening.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
We'll have to figure out another word.
You're just a bad influence. You're just a bad influence.
I would do it again, though. You know.
Of course.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll kick it off here with something. I've got friends I grew up around on both sides of the fence. So I'm talking with a buddy of mine who's friendly with a couple of the local HAs up there in Jersey. They're worried. They're worried about the 16s. Bad worried. They got right to be, honestly. And then I talked to a buddy of mine who's a 16 I grew up with. Apparently, they ran up on a couple of them, and those guys literally tucked their tails and took off from them. That didn't happen when I was around. It did not happen. You know, you had to stand your ground. And now, these guys aren't doing, man.
They just did something last night. I just seen it on the internet where some guys beat up some of the other guys with some hammers, and I just was like,
PopKorn in the house. PopKorn, what up?
there he is.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome.
Sorry, I'm
It's all
late.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Hey.
So we got PeeWee, Jeremy, PopKorn,
Welcome, Johnny.
Repo.
PopKorn.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good,
Well,
brother, good.
Now, this is a podcast.
Well,
Hell
shit,
yeah.
this ain't gonna
What's
work
happening,
too
John?
easy. I'm blind and I'm on a cell phone, so
Yeah.
I'm on PopKorn. I'm on a cell phone too.
yeah.
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 Well, I mean, I don't really usually meet dudes on the internet. That's not how I get down.
Yeah.
Me either, man.
That's it.
But $20 is $20 though.
Yeah.
I'm just following you guys. How's it going?
Good.
It's going, bro.
Yeah, right.
I said it's funny, when people always ask me, in all the years you were in a club, man, did you have problems and stuff, I said, problem with who? And they go, well, like with the Bandido guys. I said, nah, actually, I get along with those guys. And all the years from 1994 to 2010, when I quit, they said, "Did you ever run into the Pagan guys? Ever have problems with them?" I said, "I never saw one.
Yeah.
Never anywhere I was. I never physically ever seen one. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So I said, "No, I never had problems with them. You know, it's just always, you know, the Mongols or the outlaw thing and all that shit." But I talked one time. I was sitting at a sushi place, PopKorn, and I was with Mel Chansey, and he was talking to Keith on the phone, and he says, "Hey, you want to talk to Conan?" And I said, "Yeah, I never talked to him before." He gets on there, "Hey, bro, what's up?" And I said, "What's going on, dude?" And he said, "Hey, I want to come to town, you know, and go to Mr. Olympia." I said, "Well, come on." I was out at a club then. And I said, "Well, come on." And he says, "Well, what about those other guys?" I said, "Dude, listen, they ain't going to come after you unless we go over and knock on the clubhouse door and drag them out. You know, they don't come out." And he goes,
I think Sons of Anarchy kind of fucking fueled the fire for all that shit. You know what I mean? But
and people believed in
I've
that
never
shit,
had a
bro.
problem with- I've never had a problem with anybody who didn't have a problem with me, and it's always that just one-off shit. You know what I mean? One person
Yeah.
disrespecting one person. You know?
Right. And hey, bro, we've seen it in our own clubs. You know what I mean? I've seen more Hell's Angels do shit to other Hell's Angels than to get busy with anybody else.
That was
So
exactly what I was gonna say. Was I can't believe that.
Yep.
You know, everybody wants to say that they're brother, but it seems to be most of the problems are actually between brother. Yes.
Right on, bro. 100%.
Yep.
100%.
What about you, Jeremy? Is there pagans down there in Texas? Why you?
Nah, but the only thing that's down in Texas is Mongols and Bandidos.
The Cossacks
Well,
down
Well, yeah,
Well,
we don't count them.
but they're like a home. They were grown there, right?
Yeah, they've been around for so long, but they're more up around Dallas, but they don't do nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
We had
But they have
one incident over at the bar, but other than that, they ain't done shit.
That Waco.
what about the kinfolk?
Nah, kinfolk already got dissolved. They took one beating and all turned their shit in.
Oh,
They laid all their vests down.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, last time I heard, all the kinfolk were all Mongols.
well, I know right now 3 Hells Angels that are pagans, and they talk to me still to this day.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
Yep.
Do you guys notice that a lot
There
where
was,
people switch sides?
There was a Jersey guy, PeeWee. Yeah.
So as far
No,
as
the
like
guys
switching-
I'm talking about, the guys I'm
I still
talking
like,
about are
I've been
from.
sending some of our
No, I think the guys I'm talking about, bro, are from. One's from. 2 are from Indiana, and one's from. I want to say Ohio, something like that. But the member was. It was a member from Indiana. The other member was from Chicago when they were Hells Angels, and the other one was from San Diego.
Hey, did shit
And they're all.
You're right. The one
gone?
in Jersey's, I think 2 guys that were Jersey now, HA, are pagans now.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't understand the whole flip-flopping, jumping ship. If you're out, you're out. You don't jump onto somebody else's boat.
Well,
Yeah,
flip-flopping.
I mean, I've seen people with 3 and 4 different club tattoos on their arm and shit.
It was a no-no.
What? Wait, what? What?
I'm not
Yeah,
joking.
I seen only one PopKorn. I only seen one. He comes to my house. His name is Andy, and he's an old man. He's like almost 80 years old, and he's got a Charlie on his arm, and he's got the Bandito one up on his upper arm. He was a Memphis outlaw. Then he quit the Outlaws and he joined Little Rock Bandidos, and that's the last club he was in. He had both tattoos. It freaked me out.
You seen someone with 4 different clubs on their arm?
Oh, I'm a fucking joker, man. You can't take everything I say to the bank, bro. It's awesome checking shit, But I have seen people with multiple tattoos of different clubs. Like, You know what I mean? I didn't count them,
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. I'm not bullshitting.
I'm gonna tell you guys a true story that happened, and PeeWee can back it up because it's actually a story about PeeWee. This is when he was president in Vegas, and this is when the first time he ever showed me how to check somebody's mud. And he had a couple of members that had a problem with me and another brother of ours for doing something that we went to PeeWee for and got permission. So they went and they told PeeWee that they were gonna come handle us, and they were taking care of business, and they were fucking us up. You know what PeeWee said to him? Make sure you guys take a fucking lunch. You guys are gonna need all of it. And they told him, you're not gonna come with us? And he goes, no, I'm not going. You guys want to go handle it? Do you think it's if that's what you want to do? He goes, then go. He goes, last time I checked, I was the boss. He goes, and I gave him permission. But if you don't want to, hey, you're a Hell's Angel. Move on, do it. They showed up. They didn't leave with the product or what they thought they were gonna. And we went back to the table crying to PeeWee.
I remember that. I remember that.
Oh yeah, and after that, their respect level went out the window because they basically came, and this is when I guess you just call me an associate or just a hang around or whatever because I wasn't in the club or even remotely getting in because PeeWee wouldn't let me.
I told him he wouldn't like it.
Yeah, well, exactly. PeeWee's exact words to me was, "Why?" He goes, "You have every benefit of being with us, other than sitting at that table with all the drama."
Yeah.
He goes, but I take you everywhere. You go to every party. You go to every event. You go any place you want to go. Why? There's no gain to it for you. And those words always stuck with me. Always.
Well, I listened to PopKorn. I listened to PopKorn's interview with you, Billy.
Yeah.
And PopKorn, you hit it right on the head, man. I was listening to your podcast, and you explained. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you explained it so perfect about the prospecting part with the bikes and the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's why I try to tell him, why do you want to do that, man? Just stick around and have fun. Nobody's going to tell you what to do.
Right.
Nobody could tell me and PopKorn what to do because we're prospects.
Yeah.
But you had the ability to have fun. Then the fucker moves to Texas and joins the Bandidos.
Man, I was when I did my first interview, obviously you're just having a conversation, so you don't prepare for this shit, but come to think of it, like I actually remember being young as hell and seeing a biker backing his bike out of the driveway. I must have been 9 or 10, and I had the balls to ask him for a ride. You know what I mean? And he gave me a ride. And I didn't even fucking remember that story till I started trying to think back on some shit to talk about. But whoever the fuck that biker was, man, that motherfucker definitely put a path to my life. You know what I'm saying?
And what, was he in a club?
I have no clue. He was just an old tweaker backing a Harley on his driveway. You know? And I was an old
Get on, kid.
We chased the ice cream man, begged him to throw an ice cream out. We didn't even have 25 cents for a popsicle. So, you know what I mean? If I seen you riding a horse or anything, fuck, it'd be the first time I'd seen something like that. I'd fucking ask you for a ride. You know what I mean? I think that's how I got my first ride on a boat, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, you hop on?
Hell yeah.
So let's go down the line. What made you want to join Repo? What made you guys want to join a club?
We're all kind of quiet.
For me, like, I grew up in New Jersey. Was New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I was right on the borderline, and where I grew up, it was breeding pagans. Always was breeding pagans were the dominant two clubs. There was Warlock. You had like Jersey Iron, Bandanas, a few other smaller ones that wound up getting overtaken by the pagans. Actually, they shut them down. You're either patching in or you're patching out the hard way. And I had went to multiple events, and like I say, I grew up with a guy who's actually a diamond for the pagans, and our kids went to school together, and I just saw some of the shit that he went through. And when I would be at events, just, kind of how they were treating some of and I knew I worked with some of them. And like I say, PeeWee, I worked in the union. I was over in Philadelphia. I used to see Gorilla on the jobs, when he was the top top dog out there. And I just didn't like the politics that they had back then. Late 80s, early 90s. I was going up New York, a lot of HA events I used to go to. And that's just the way that I wanted to go, you know. At that time, little did we know now, but that seemed like the way to go. Like they were the most together club, and they wound up being just as fucked up as the rest of them, if not worse than the rest of them.
Right.
What made you want to be one percenter, PeeWee?
It wasn't I don't think it was point of me being a one percenter. I was then, I don't know, like a lot of guys, and PopKorn and what I'm talking about, and Repo, like he just said, a lot of guys come from small clubs to join the big boys. And I was in a little club called the Sinners. That was like in Indiana and Michigan and Wisconsin, where I was born and raised. And, you know, I was there 10 years, and then all of a sudden I was like, wow, man. And again, I never even seen a Hell's Angel in my whole life, you know, living in Milwaukee. And then we got hooked up somehow by one of the guys in the prison that was in there with one of the sinners. He said, there's a guy and there were all these Hell's Angel tattoos on him. He said he knows this guy and that guy. And I said, well, all the guys he's saying, they're all dead. And I mean, anybody could read a book and say, yeah, I know this guy, that guy, they're dead. They can't answer. You know what I mean? If I said to somebody, oh, yeah, hey, man, I know Jeremy, I know PopKorn, those guys. Yeah, I never met. Why would I say that? You know? So I said, there's something funny about the guy. So I called up to Minnesota. I heard that their president ran Minneapolis Custom Cycles. And I called up there and I talked to him. And he said, the guy's bullshit. So when our guy took care of it in the prison, it kind of gave me a foot in the door to where they were talking to us. And then I seen him for the first time, like in 1991 was the first time I ever saw one. And I just literally walked up to him. I was still in the Sinners, and I was thinking, man, I want to be one of these guys, you know? And it was a big event. There was, which these guys all know that these clubs, it was the El Forsteros, there was the Galloping Gooses, there was Hell's Angels, Hell's Henchmen at the time, Sons of Silence. And really all those clubs that were there really didn't get along with the club I didn't get along with, you know, which at that time was the Outlaws. So when I got there, we got jacked up by the Sons of Silence first. And then they kind of let us like pass off, and they told us, hey, come to our campsite if you guys ain't scared, you know, that kind of shit. And we showed up there, and they're blasting guns and doing the whole thing, going in there and they're playing cards. And the guy's name was No Mind, their national president. And you know, Jeremy knows me and Repo. I barely saw them drink at all. And this dude had me drinking wild turkey with him and all kinds of shit. So when we left there, we went back to the racetrack. And the Angels were racing, and I just walked up to Ralph by the fence, and I said, hey, man, what do I got to do to be you? And he says, where do you live? I said, Milwaukee. He said, move to where we are. And I walked back, told my guys, I said, I'm going to do that, you know. But little did I know, man, like some of these guys, they have the story. The same shit I hear from PopKorn, Jeremy, all, you know, you go there, and I mean, these guys did the most fucked up shit, you know. I mean, like, just not watching the bikes is one thing. Like PopKorn said, watching the bikes, you know, I was one of those guys who, you know, I could see him like, hey, get me a drink. And, you know, that to me, that felt like kind of like a bitchy thing, you know, like I was being punked out like some bitch. Get that. Hey, I'm not bitching about cleaning the clubhouse or watching fucking motorcycles or even knocking somebody out or even doing, like PopKorn said, doing what we got to do. But I mean, getting the fucking drinks. And then, I mean, bro, this is going to crack all you fuckers up, man. I mean, I got a 45-minute lecture from Pat how I'm not cut out to be a Hell's Angel because I didn't stock the fucking cooler with Budweiser. Come on.
No, I
So
get it.
yeah, I'm not bullshitting. So
Yeah, you
wearing
made a
white
post
the whole
on
time.
Facebook. You're in
yeah, I'm
trouble.
like, hey man, send me over to beat somebody up, shoot some. Yeah, but you seriously tell me I'm not cut out because I didn't stock the cooler with fucking beer.
Right.
So that's the shit that was kind of getting under my skin, and it was kind of like, this ain't cutting out. And after 14 months of prospecting, he called me in the room and he says, yeah, you're just not cutting it, man. So we're going to let you go. And you come back in a year, you can try it again. And I just stood there for a minute. I looked down the table, and this is the part that threw me, man. All of them are sitting at the table like this. Their heads down. Nobody could even look at me. And I thought, you chicken shit, you chicken shit.
That fast.
So
It's over.
I hung up my rocker, and he said, does he owe us any money? And they said, no, matter of fact, we owe him some money. So they paid me what they owed me. Then I said, that dude owes me money, and that dude owes me money, and I fucking want it. And they said, he goes, I'll make sure you get paid. I said, okay. And they did pay me. I waited the year, and then after the year was over, about a year and a half, I went back. I said, hey, can I come back? And he says, one of the guys doesn't like you. He hates you. He don't want you back. And it's got to be 100%, And I said, yeah. Well, why don't you let me and this guy go out in the backyard and, get busy? And he goes, Pee-wee, I'm not going to let you kick the shit out of him. He's still a member. And I said, okay. So I blew it up, and I came back like 3 months later, and he's talking to me. He says, come down to Clubhouse tonight. We'll see if we can hash this out. Bro, I get down there, man. It's 10 below zero, Minnesota, right? I get up to the door. I'm knocking on, freezing. And he opens the door, and I'm standing right here in front of the door, and he does one of these. And he slams the door in my face. I just start walking away. Pat runs out, no, come back. I was like, fuck it, man. And then a couple years later, that dude got tossed out of the club. Then Pat goes to me, hey, come on back. I had a really bad feeling about him. You know what I mean? That gut feeling telling you, ooh, this ain't gonna be good. And the Frisco guys were great to me. Really, they were. And they were like, come to Frisco. But I don't know how it is with PopKorn and Jeremy's club, but you got to go back to the charter you start with to go to another one. So like your slab, right? So your slab's clear. Like, hey, Jeremy, you ain't going nowhere. You owe us 10 grand or some shit or whatever, like that. So I had to go back there, but they didn't know I wanted to leave. And I said, yeah, I want to come back. And they said, when you want to start? It was like in October when I was talking to them. I said, how about the first of the year? But I don't want to do it here. I want to go to Frisco. And they like freaked out, man. Well, we got to call them and see. I said, it's already call them, man. They call them. Frisco's like, yeah, we want them.
So you prospected out in Frisco.
The second time.
In Minneapolis.
And I couldn't believe when I got there, they made me a hang around again after they know me for 10, like almost 9 years, But they made me hang around again. But it was short, like 3-4 months. Then I went to doing the prospects again. You got to do a year. And then they voted me in, and that's where I became a Hell's Angel in San Francisco. So out there, it was a whole different life thing because the problem was with the Mongols, and really not with the Outlaws. As a matter of fact, they were having negotiations going on with the Outlaws as I just came into the club. And I had a problem with one of the guys they had that was a big rat for them, a guy named Shock. And I said, hey, if he comes here for the meetings, I got issues with that dude. I'm going to rock and roll with him. And they said, hey, you can rock and roll with him, but no weapons, no crazy. I'm like, crazy, man. I'm throwing this guy over my head. You know what I mean? I'm breaking his neck if I can. So I owed him a lot, but he never showed. He ended up turning on like 40 guys in his club, sending them off to prison. And so it was crazy. But
so pretty much
then after a while, I realized I couldn't afford to live in fucking Frisco. It was crazy.
And Pat did the same thing, right? Turned on all these. Pat did the same thing, turning on a bunch of members.
Pat did the same thing. He turned over and he got 20 years. And they said, well, hey, if you rat, we'll cut your time, He turned over like 42 guys. me, I was one of them included. Now, hey, I don't mind, you telling shit about me if you're going to rat on me. At least rat on me for the shit I did. Don't make up shit. He tells them I'm the Midwest distributor of methamphetamine. I wish. I would have been making so much money. This son of a, now it makes sense why the feds kept sending full patch Hells Angels that were rats wearing wires on me. PeeWee, I'll sell you a pound of meth for $6,000, man. I'm telling you. I said, I don't even do this shit. I don't know anybody who buys it. What? I don't give a shit if it's $2,000. Every time I seen this punk from Arizona, he was trying to sell me a pound of meth. It was the feds.
Yeah, the DEA, right? It's Dave Dobbin, right?
No. It was a guy named, they called Mesa Mike Kramer. Yeah. That's a punk's name. But I fucked up. I did fuck up because, and I'm sure every one of you guys would have done the same thing. I was standing there and he says, yeah, this Mexican dude, he fronts it to you and you just pay him when you can. Well, hey, man, I'm thinking to myself, I'll burn the dude. I'm sure I could find somebody to sell it for me for like $3,000 and they can make the rest of the money. I don't give a shit. So I fucked up and I said to him, okay, go get it. This punk jumped on his bike and took off because I was driving tractor trailers through Arizona at the time. I stopped. Now, here's how the feds work. They called him and said, PeeWee's going through town. Call him. Because he never calls me, bro. He calls me, hey, what are you doing? Where you at? I said, it's funny you call. I'm going right through your town. He goes, let's get lunch. So that's how the whole book works. I fucked up. I told him, yeah, go get it. He comes back and he says, he doesn't have it ready. He'll have it ready in 45 minutes. And I said, f it, I didn't want it anyway. I jumped in my truck and I left. Now, when I got indicted on the fight with the Mongols, the feds came in and they said, hey, we think we're going to charge you a conspiracy to purchase methamphetamine. And I said, right, and I go, prove it.
Right.
And they played that recording. That punk was wearing a wire. So if anybody should be pissed off, I had 4 of those fuckers in the club trying to set me up.
Or more than that.
Yeah, but it's all behind me, you know what I mean? But yeah, look at the biggest guys like Pat, he had it all going. And you know what? They only knocked 10 years off his sentence for all the guys he ratted on. I mean, come on. What the fuck if you're going to be a big rat with a big chunk of cheese in front of your face, at least you can, get 100 guys or more. He threw out 42 guys to him for 20 years because he didn't think he could take it. And I'm thinking, man, I did 3 years for a fist fight.
And he's still living in the same place.
Right. And he goes on that Secret of the Angels things and tells some bullshit story again about me with the bombing thing.
Yeah.
That set me off, bro. Because the guy who did it,
he said that you bombed
the guy who did it,
the clubhouse, right? He said you bombed the clubhouse.
No, a tattoo parlor.
Yeah. The tattoo
I wasn't even there, Billy. I wasn't even there. It was a guy named, and I'm saying John Dirks. He's dead. He OD'd. Why Pat wouldn't even say it? Hey, this guy John did it. No, man, he still has it out for me, and he says, "Who better to send but the trust? To see his loyalty." Prospect PeeWee. I'm like, what? And I was watching the show. I was like, you mother. So yeah, I can see why those guys would be pissed off, the outlaws. But I'm telling you guys, I didn't do it.
He's probably one of the figures that they'll kill you or something. The outlaws will kill you. Putting that info out there.
Hey, the only thing Pat said that was true, I sold my house to an El Prostero. He did his time. He did 30 years in prison for this, for selling meth. I sold to him under the table cash. And like a dumb fucker, because you think you're trusting all your brothers, Pat says, hey, man, I went to his going away party. When he's going to prison, I think he was already rolling. He already had a bite of that cheese. I said to him, man, bro, 20 years, that's a long time. And he says, well, you know what, PeeWee? You do the crime, you got to do the time. I said, wait a minute, didn't Tony Beretta say that? I thought it was a Beretta saying. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, you're a true man, bro. that you take that 20 years, not knowing that I was making a deal. And he says to me, what are you going to do at your house in Minnesota? I said, I already sold it. To who? I said, the guy's name. And he goes, oh. I said, yeah, he paid me a cash deal. We're done, man, because, you know, because of the way he works, you know, he doesn't have a job. And he goes, that's cool. When I got my indictment papers, it was in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept waiting for the IRS to knock on my door. But, yeah, you know, bro, it's heartbreaking, man. And I'm sure all these guys have their horror stories of, what, you know, you say, hey, man, these are all my brothers. I love my brother. I trust them all. But you can't trust them all. And it's hard to trust again. Once you get by one guy, right, Jeremy? And PopKorn knows too. Once you get, you're a little gun shy, but you got to suck it up and go, we got to do this again, you know, hoping this guy is more solid than the last punk that wore a wire on you. And now you find out this guy's the same way.
Look at PopKorn's situation. Dude crashes his bike in the live right through.
I know. I told her
in the beginning. That was like my very first day as a member. You know what I mean?
And he straight up lied to PopKorn. Told him, I don't know. Come on, you're only motherfucker riding it. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't know what the guys get off thinking that they don't, you know, just have enough balls to tell the truth, man. I mean, whatever happens,
hey, bro,
fucking point, it's how you deal with it. You know what I mean?
They always say the truth sets you free, man. I tell people, you want to be in this club a long time? Yeah. Don't ever lie or steal or cheat. You know what I mean? Just be honest, man. Just be honest. And there was guys, PopKorn, that I would tell, I already knew what they did. And Jeremy knows the guy, Trey. He was spun out. Now, I thought it was meth, but he was on Adderall. And he was running our T-shirts, bro. He broke up with his chick, which was his accountant. She brought over the paperwork and showed me he ripped the club off for $40,000. I was wondering why the f we didn't make any money off the T-shirts.
Dude, hey, I had the guy come to me and he says, hey, I don't know how to tell you this because I'm so embarrassed, man. I had to take a job out working nights at McDonald's, and I just don't want none of the guys to find out because, you know, I'm working fast food. So I feel bad for the dude or whatever, but he moves into a nicer house. He buys a brand new bike. He gets a fucking nice car for his old lady. And what McDonald's, by the way, you know what I'm saying?
Tomorrow, apply.
It came out in the wash that he had his hands in the money pot. You know what I'm saying? And doing what he was doing to the nation out of dollars and put them in his own pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That goes down the road as soon as it's exposed. But, you know, if I was going to be the tough guy, I would not pick a 1% motorcycle club to start finger. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
No, come on.
And you said it.
Right.
And you said it yourself, PopKorn, on that interview I saw. You said they put you like as a treasurer and you didn't need their money. And because you know why, though? You're solid, bro. Me, I'm not saying I would have stole the money. I just didn't want to handle it. So that's why I never, ever wanted that job, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if there was a ton of money rolling around, but, you know, I mean, maybe larger chapters or something are doing more dollars or whatever. But, I mean, dude, by the time you throw a party, sell a bunch of T-shirts, you done drank all the profit. You know what I mean? Right. I've never seen a party make money. Breaking even was celebration.
Right, bro. You know, and paying dues, everybody's like, hey, what do you pay for dues? You know, in Vegas, we were paying $50 a week. That's $200 a month, bro.
For everybody
like
there. And how many members were there? $50 a week. How many members?
12.
12
members.
The more the chapter's going to need to lean on.
Don't forget the idiot. Don't forget the prospect dues. Hang around.
Yeah.
That's
and then all the idiot assessments.
12. That's $600 a week. That's 600 a week.
Yeah, this week 300, next week 500, the week following.
That's 19. That's $20,000 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's tipping the waitresses, man. I mean, don't start getting your head too deep into the money. As soon as I came around the lifestyle, you know, all the titties and beer and fun was cool, but that little brain in the back of my head was going, the Wizard of Oz is rich. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no way in hell. And know what? You know, that gets you back to,
oh yeah.
so, you know, hey, check this out. You know how society is ran off of hate, right? Black,
Right.
white, poor, rich. You know, they train you to hate the other guy, right? Well, that's just a control tactic. You know, as long as they got your groups whittled down, you're easier to handle. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same thing with the motorcycle clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 10 Wizard of Oz's, one from each faction, sitting back on a giant stack of cash and saying, did you get your guys to hate my guys this week? Cool. Job well done. Because as long as everybody's fighting, nobody's getting along. You ask a 1% biker what his purpose is for doing what he's doing, and the only commonality is going to be the enemy. That's it. That's the only commonality. Some dudes are in it to ride a bike. Some dudes are in it for this. Some dudes are in it for that. But everyone will tell you the op.
Right.
That sounds like a force-fed message.
Yeah, PopKorn's right, man. PopKorn's right, 100%.
You gain those people, right?
You know, I was out front of the Harley shop one day, and I had patchitis. I was a new member, you know, and there was a guy who was in a different club, you know, a pretty respected high faction. He put the olive branch out there. I go to get on my bike. First of all, I thought I was tough just because I was walking over to him to get on my bike while he was standing right there. You know what I mean? Watch this, guys. I'm going to go get on my bike. I don't give a fuck if he is standing right there type shit, you know? And then the dude, he must have had some years on him in the club because he goes, hey, sure is a nice day today. And I come back at him with the dickhead answer, yeah, it's a great day if you're a pagan. That's some shit to say. I should have just been a gentleman and said, it absolutely is, rubber side down, you know, because that's who I really am, you know what I mean? But you get that shit going in your blood, and all of a sudden it's like pit bulls and cats, you know what I mean?
You inherit all these problems once you join the club, right?
Well, hey, when the coach pulls you over and shows you the play, the last words he says is "get him."
Right.
So when you yell "break," your head's up looking for a mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous.
And I'm sure all these guys can agree with me. We get in a club. Hey man, we don't get along with the pagans. I never even knew why. You know what I mean? I mean, why? I should have said why. What happened? But right, PopKorn, your brain's like, oh, okay. Well, hey, you know, we don't get along with the outlaws. Why? Well, all I can remember is this: sitting in Sturgis with Sonny, and he says to me, oh, we had a truce with the outlaws and something happened up in Canada. So the truce was off. And I was sitting there and Sonny came in and he says, I just got a phone call. The truce with the outlaws is off. And I said, oh, yeah? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you know something, PeeWee? And that man was in the club 60 years. He looked at me and he says, you know, every time we had a truce with those guys, we're the ones that always broke it. Really? And I looked at him, I said, it was us? And he goes, yeah, every time. But I mean, it's just like, I didn't even know why we were fighting with them anyway. And then, you know, then I go to San Francisco, and now it's another ball team. You know what I mean? Oh, we don't get along with the Mongols. Why? Well, I hear the story about, you know, the guy with the chick, you know, it's over a chick. Then I hear one guy say, no, it's over the bottom rocker. I mean, honest to God, we're killing each other over a bottom rocker? Even a chick? Come on. You got to be kidding me. And I get along. I just met PopKorn. He's cool. We probably get along great in the bars. We're not hating on each other. I met Mooch. Mooch is super cool, man. I dig the shit out of Mooch. And what he's doing right now is really cool. That show called Patch. I'm going to plug it for you, Mooch.
He's with XL's Angel, right?
Yeah, I don't know that kid came in at. Well, he says he was in earlier. He must have been in prison or something because I don't remember him from when I quit in 2010. You know, I don't remember him, and then he left in 2018. I was already gone 8 years. So
you brought up Mooch, and I've only got to shake his hand once, and it was at a birthday party in I believe it was LA, and I was still a prospect, and that's why I laughed when I heard you say his name, because it just brought back the memory of going out there for this party. And you know, I said when I was a prospect, I was so fucking stupid that every time they said it was time to go to a party, I thought I was included, so I was excited to go. You know what I mean? And,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, man. And we go out there.
Oh,
and,
you were included.
What's that?
Yeah, you were
included.
Bro, I was not included, bro. So we make it to LA. They come out and kind of, get us situated in a hotel and shit like that. We go to the event. It was awesome as hell, man. I mean, they really know how to put on an event for sure. You know what I'm saying? Tons of bikes, tons of girls, tons of beer, brews, bikes, everything. At the end of the night, everybody had their fun. We make it back to the hotel, and brothers just start, Patch members start disappearing to their rooms with the girl or with whatever. They're just all disappearing, you know what I mean? And before you know it, there's nobody in the lobby. And one of these this is one of them elevators you have to have a key card to get in and go up. And I don't have one. You know what I mean? I was a prospect. I was supposed to be sleeping on somebody's floor.
Right. Been there, brother.
I end up trying to sneak sleep in the lobby, get kicked out like 3 or 4 times all through the night. Security just keeps throwing me out. By the time sun comes up, I got to go get coffees and breakfast for brothers and you know what I'm saying? Yep. Nobody gives they all abandoned me. You know what I'm saying? So
where you got to go, PopKorn, is visit Jeremy in Texas, because I go to visit Jeremy one time, and that son of a we get up in the morning, he goes, we'll go get some breakfast. I said, all right, bro. When I get up in the morning, man, we pull behind this house, and it's just a regular house, bro. And we pull up in the back of it in the parking lot, and I'm like, what the hell? He goes, come on, man, let's go. I said, what's going on here? He goes, come on, I'll show you. It's a secret. We walk in, bro, and all these they're sitting in negligees and shit like that. It's I said to him, you kidding me? And he says, no, bro, it's on me. And
hey, that ain't breakfast. Don't put that shit in your mouth.
I get it, bro. I get it. I swear, man, I get it. Is it still around?
Oh yeah.
Hey, do I have to get the invite, or can I say Pete sent me?
Yes, it is.
No, I'm going. I'm going to come. I'll go with PopKorn clothes. I'm going.
That's
and they'll bring. Oh, now see, you're engaged. You get married now, Repo. You got to be a good guy.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Jeremy,
I don't want that. I don't want that Puerto Rican Italian.
Hey, Jeremy, what made you want to join after PeeWee warned you about all?
Yeah.
Because I'm half.
Maybe
I should have listened. The biggest thing is, I was young, real young when PeeWee started teaching me. It meant, pretty much, most of my life was around what PeeWee had going on. We'd go to California, and we'd go everywhere. I couldn't tell you, the Frisco Clubhouse for parties. We'd go to all these different places. If PeeWee was going, I was right next to him. It didn't matter what the was going on. Then PeeWee, I left Vegas, and PeeWee had his problems, and it kind of escalated to, started meeting a couple of guys, riding. I was riding independent, a little small group, and the small group turned into meeting up with the Bandidos, and then it was on.
And I told you, man, when you introduced me to that guy who sold you the truck, I says, don't start hanging around with these guys, because I knew there was a support club for the Bandidos. I said,
yep.
Don't join these guys, Jeremy. It's going to grow to something different. And then he tells me, I joined those guys. I go, you son of then I don't talk to him for like not a long time, but like a year or so. Next picture I see standing by a giant Bandito 1%er thing, and he's got the patch on. I'm like, oh, this son of a.
It was that year of prospecting. She couldn't talk to me.
Yeah. Then he came out and visit me. And it was funny, PopKorn and Repo. You got to hear this. He come out to visit me. He's all proud. He's got the pants, Bandito. I see you were proud, bro, who you were and stuff like that. And I didn't say nothing, did I? Nope. And hey, I even stuck a big old Bandito sticker on my refrigerator in my clubhouse. Yeah, Monster stuck a Vago one on there, and all these. So I says to him, yeah, that's cool. About 2 weeks later, he calls me. He said, hey, those guys me royally. I said, hey, it happens, man. And it was probably the best thing that happened to you, bro.
Best thing. Life hasn't been better since.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, I don't wear that support shirt you gave me anymore.
That's one of the questions I want to ask you guys. How is your life now that you're not in the club anymore?
The best I've ever had it.
Who's going first?
Go ahead, PopKorn. Go ahead.
I mean, honest to God, man, it's like this right now, like this conversation. This is what I joined a club for. It wasn't widespread. It wasn't there. It wasn't, only that, like just hanging out with guys and doing something cool is what this is supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that I'm not in a club, I tread lightly trying to pay respect or at least not disrespect, because I'm not that sour puss, you know what I mean, that's out the club and hates the club. I have problems with certain individuals, but that's definitely not the nation. But it is hella nice to be able to just hang out and ride my bike. I mean,
yeah.
By a proxy, it's hard because I don't have a bunch of dudes on my phone no more. I don't have a bunch of people to ride with. I don't have anybody to call for whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's the convenience of being in a club. Hey, I'm not going to pay to have this carpet installed. I'm going to throw a barbecue and have my brothers over, you know what I mean? Yeah. And get the goddamn carpet laid, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like so it's harder for sure, and I miss that. But at the end of the day, man, I'll bring my kids up a million times because I'm in love with my children, man.
Right on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? To know for a fact that I was hanging my neck out there with children it's got me mad at myself still. There's all kinds of shit that could still come down, RICO and indictments and shit.
Right.
Years. That's years I gotta hope that's not happening, right?
Right. I worry about the same thing, brother.
Yeah, but it's nice to be able to look at anybody and compliment their bike or listen to you guys' stories and just agree that we have so much commonality that it's spooky. You know what I'm saying? Like if you took everybody's cut off and then threw them all in a goddamn big ass Woodstock party, you probably wouldn't have a single fist fight.
Right.
For real.
He's 100% right, bro.
Because like I said about the 100%. Opening the door thing, how members will hold the door because we're respectful men, right? You're going to hold the door for somebody. So tell me where the disrespect starts then. You get all these like-minded dudes together that know how to say please and excuse me, then how's it going to pop off? Yeah. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? You infiltrated by wannabes who say they're like that, and then you got people trying to somebody's old lady, do stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's not a part of what was really going on. But if you could actually have the guys that were supposed to be there, without that middle hatred, then they would be able to enjoy what we're enjoying right now, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Do you still have so you inherit their problems once you join? Do you still have problems with the opposition that you used to have?
I have a problem with any grown-ass man who stands 8 inches away from my body with any form of disrespect. You get close enough for me to punch you, I'll punch you. Stay the fuck away from me and I won't punch you. And it ain't going to be because of what you're wearing. You know what I'm saying? I always used to say, you can call me cupcake the wrong way. I'm fat. So you say cupcake, I instantly say, yes, please. But you could say it the wrong way. I could read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to have a patch on for me to be mad at you or hate you. It's going to be that personal line of disrespect. I said in that interview, I got a friend who's going that way, and I don't like to name drop, so I just won't. But he's going that way for a heavy presence, and it's not Pagan. And I congratulated the out of the dude. It's almost sad that once he does, become a member, I'm pretty sure that at least our social media presence probably have to go away because people stalk Facebooks. And another thing too about the you didn't stock soda in the fridge good enough to be a 1%er or some shit. It's so sad to watch so many good guys go down the road because of some tard in a position to send people down the road. And his personal feelings get hurt and his personal beliefs. I wish that it was way more panel style, like cut and dry. If these are the rules, stop if you wrote all the rules, stop adding them. Don't add them as you go along. If you want to join a club and you get in there and you read the rule book and you break one of those rules, you should have to pay like the rule book said. But all of a sudden, Steve don't like how your old lady talks, or Steve don't like how you ride, or Steve don't like how many beers you had, or whatever the Steve. Steve ain't the nation. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if there's a Steve out there, I didn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's always this personal ideology, and then they use their power to push it when that's not what the it was for, and that's what ruins chapters, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? If there was PopKorn's
100% right, man.
Well,
he said it all, bro.
The other problem you run into is people have their personal agendas they want to, put into the nation and make it fit for them so they benefit. Well, this isn't to benefit you personally. This is a nation. This is brothers for a reason. If you're going to benefit off of another brother, then all you are is a piece of shit. At the end of the day, if we're doing this as a nation, we're doing this as a chapter, we're doing this as brothers, well, then you shouldn't have an agenda on your personal side because you wear a patch. You should be the same guy, same cat, with or without that patch on, no matter what.
But you know what? Like PopKorn says, when you come around, you're looking for that brotherhood, the camaraderie, Yep. That's why I did it, really. It had nothing to do, I want to be a 1%er.
No.
I wanted that brotherhood. I wanted to feel that, where I look at Jeremy and I do say to him, okay, brother, hey, I love you, man. I say, hey, I get off the phone, PopKorn, but I say, hey, bro, I love you. I say, because I feel it from my heart. You know what I mean? And when a guy's coming around, I tell people, why do you treat that dude like a piece of... Well, he's just a prospect. But listen, he's going to be your brother in his club someday. You don't treat him like... I never treated nobody like bro.
No.
Nobody.
No, never.
And I can tell you this, Pat Banner got his truck blown up. And the only reason they put a bomb on it, he was inside the building and they dropped a container on the other side, a garbage container, and it shook the ground and set the bomb off, or he would have been in the truck. Well, when the bomb went off, it blew his truck to pieces, right? This is no... We all sit here talking about the brotherhood and shit. I'm trying to get in this club. I'm trying to feel this brotherhood, How do you think you'd feel, Billy, if I said to you, my truck got blown up, and I said, Billy, here's the keys to my truck. Go out and start my truck.
What, after
he did it to me all the time. He did it to me all the time, bro. And I'm man, in my heart, I was thinking, what the fuck is with this guy? Then after a while, he got a remote starter, right? But in another hand, I got hit by a car on a bike, and I'm laying in a fucking road. This kid hits me. I'm laying in the road. I got 3 broken ribs, punctured my lung, broke my wrist, my scapula, and my pelvis. I'm laying in the street, swear to God, on my skin, bro. He pulls up in a pickup truck. He leans out the window and he says, hey, Bubba, how you doing? You okay? And I couldn't catch my breath because I had a hole in my lung, right? And I go, yeah. He said, well, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm all right. I think I got some broken bones. And he goes, Well, I can hear the siren, so the ambulance is coming. You should be all right. Give me a call tonight. Let me know how you feel. Drove away. I said, now that's brotherhood. You know, you wouldn't even get out of the truck, bro.
And then
That should have told me up here, get the out of this. That's what it should have told me. This ain't for me, man. But I wanted it up here. I wanted it in my heart so bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I stayed there and I did good things. And like PopKorn says, I don't badmouth the guys. I'm just saying it's a certain guys. Like he said, there are good guys, man, that still respect me in the club and love me and stuff. And then there's these young talking son of a that, you know, they wouldn't have the balls come up to my face and say something they say. 68 years old, I'll cave their face in, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Just a number, bro. It's just a number, you know. I still got these.
Oh yeah.
You see, I think Repo inherited a whole different set of problems than the rest of the guys on here. Being in Philadelphia and everything that was transpiring, how they got the sign, how the Pagans got the Hell's Angel sign, and everything was going on. The president gets killed.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that was a shit show.
I think
for sure.
we were
A lot more than that.
that wine.
Hey, do you hear me, PopKorn?
Well,
That's it?
The worst thing was the worst.
No, he
thing
got
was,
the case put
the
on
dude
him,
dropped
right?
the
He went
case.
to prison.
He dropped the case on me. Yeah, and the guy that sent me to prison was a patched member that was on the. He was on a take.
Just one of many.
Piece of shit.
One of many.
That was your brother.
Well, we had
brothers.
We had three. We knew we're being paid and working against the club.
That's
But
crazy.
you know, they didn't bet anything right. I mean, bottom line, old school rules. Should they have taken those guys from the Pagans? No, they shouldn't have. But they did. And I'll say it like wholeheartedly. Tommy, who was a Pagan man, that became a fucking Hell's Angel. He was a real brother. And he was a straight up dude, you know. I seen him beat down dudes that came over with him because he said, you know, we aren't what we used to be. We're this now, and we don't fucking act like that no more. And I seen him put the boots to dudes and send them down the road. Tell him, go back where you were. He lost his life. And that's because they didn't give a the party that night. They didn't follow the fucking man home like they should have. They didn't watch him leave. No, they fucked up. Sitting out. I got off the bike one night in front of the fucking clubhouse, and thank God, a guy that I had known for 20 years, he was prospecting, tackled me. I'm thinking, wow, we're fighting. And the car, and man, the whole PeeWee, you've been there. The whole concrete wall had bullet holes in it. And if that guy didn't tackle me, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this. You know, it was just, and the guys, they were such liars, man. They lied to the East Coast. Everything they did was a lie. One right after another.
Come on, you can't hide, Repo.
And they fucked everybody. All right, hang on. I locked up there.
Yeah. I really was feeling it. I thought you were crying. And I started feeling that.
You know, they literally fucked the whole thing up.
Your service.
Well, you know, hey, you know, the funny thing is, man, the whole time I was doing, I have the same attitude that I do now, right? I don't give a shit. When I started, I was 38 years old. Now I'm 68, right? And it was funny because they're like, hey, you know why you're not doing the right? Because you're a smart ass. I wasn't a smart ass. I always made jokes of everything. We were standing in front of the clubhouse in Chicago. Guy goes, hey, look out. And everybody hit the ground and brrr, the bullets flew. A bunch of bikes got hit. Everybody stood up, and everybody's going, "Hey, everybody all right?" And I went, "They missed my bike, thank God." So they're like, "Oh, you think it's funny, Pee-wee?" And because a bunch of bikes got shot, but not mine. And they're like, "Oh, you think that's funny?" And I was like, "Oh man, I crack jokes all the time, and I got myself in more trouble than you can imagine, But I was trying to make the best of it, out of a bad situation. But it's good getting together with all these guys and talking, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There, now, what happened?
Now
There
you
you
got
are.
me.
Yeah, we got Repo back.
All right. Don't feel bad, Popcorn. I'm on the cell phone now.
I was
It's a
trying
good.
to do it, man. I fucking asked my client what time it was, and she said 5. I was like, I'm late.
Are you on a cell phone, Jeremy?
Yeah.
No, we're all on cell phones, bro.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah,
me.
my
Except
laptop
you.
was dropping in and out all night.
Maybe you don't know how to use it, bro.
That's it.
That should be the test for the real 1%er. If you know how to use a cell phone, you're too young, man.
Exactly, bro. I still don't know how to use mine.
Do you guys think it's possible for all these clubs to get along?
No,
No.
I don't think they will.
As soon as somebody said to do it, then you'd get these off-branch chapters that are going to put their own foot down, and then you're going to have many everybody. You know what I'm saying? The mini Pagans, the mini this, the mini that. You know what I mean? You'll have some offshoot where they said, "I'm not fucking listening." They can come get my cut, but they're going to, you know what I mean, have to try to take it or whatever, And it's just it's that Pandora's box, man. I think what it is it takes a lot of maturity to be able to hold your head up after walking away. I think if you walked away and you hang your head when you say you did it, I think that shows a huge immaturity and a lack of growth.
Right on, bro.
For real, man. And I'm not saying that because I'm part of that crew. I'm saying that because I'll still go up and talk to a patch member about his day or whatever. I'm not going to be a subservient dude. I'm not second rate, second best, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I could just say with all honesty that one thing about myself is I'm honest to myself. So I could sit there and be too worried about the way I look and stay, because in my heart I feel that, like Pee-wee was saying, that gut feeling I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. And whatever that shouldn't be here reason is for you, that's whatever reason that is. Religion, family, whatever maybe you just ain't got it in you like you thought it was, whatever. But you should always tell yourself the truth. You should always be honest to yourself. And I think that if more people would do that, we'd start admiring the 1% nations more, because they'd be more refined. It's not the dudes who are doing this by the book in the way it's supposed to be done that put a black eye on the clubs. It's the dumbasses that come in and want to be just right there, wannabe. I didn't try to be anything. It just natural as. I just had a Walmart greeter jacket on, so I worked at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But there was no script. There was no training. I don't want to hang out with a motherfucking dude that I made. If I had to tell you how to be somebody, I don't want to be around. I'm not your dad.
Right.
What if you fucking get tired of listening? I'm looking to hang out with people that are just the exact same thing that I am. You know what I'm saying? And it's the wannabes that muddied the water up and shit, so.
Well, and the other problem you're going to have is, even if all the clubs got together, all the spin-offs that used to be 1%ers that went and opened another club up and took, those members and became a club, they're going to have the same bullshit. So it's always going to be some drama, some nonsense. And it's never going to change.
You know what, bro? I always got mad because I say, hey man, why are we fighting with all these guys? And I can give you a good example. When I had the shop in Sturgis, somebody said, hey man, I saw a couple of Iron Horsemen from Ohio walking down the street. And I said, what's the problem with them? And they, oh man, no son of a is this and that. And they're talking all this shit. And I ran across them. I was walking down the street. I ran into some of them. And they were giving me that look like, hey, is this going to kick off or what? I walked right up to them and I go, hey man, I says, what's the bull going on between us and you? I had asked myself, ask them. And they said, we don't know, man. I said, tell you what, come over to my shop. We got upstairs, a house upstairs, a big table. We'll all sit down, we'll talk, we'll hash this thing out. And they looked at me like, we ain't stupid, man. I said, listen, one thing I am is I'm a man of my word. And I'm telling you this. I'm telling you to come over. You bring there were 5 of them. I said, all 5 of you guys come over, and I'll have my guys up there, and we'll sit down and talk. And I'll tell you what, any one of my guys get up and takes off, I'll take off on him. And they go, why would you do that? And I said, because I just told you, man, nothing's going to happen to you. I give you my word, it's going to happen. So they showed up, and honest to God, we sat down. One guy was being a dick in the club because they still had that old mentality of, we're the biggest club in the world, we're better than everybody. And man, bro, if you just let that curtain down a little bit, man, that you got more people that would come to you. Like PopKorn said, more people, you draw them in with that brotherhood feeling, which I wasn't feeling. And before you know it, those guys are all sitting there drinking beers, lines, playing cards, and everybody got along. And all of a sudden, hey, the Iron Horsemen are cool guys. Well, you know what? I pat myself on the back for that because I did that. The same thing with when I said, hey, you guys have a USA run every year. How come no other clubs are welcome to our USA run? What do you mean? Well, they say the El Posteros and the Gooses are our friends, but I've never ever seen them invited to any of our functions. So I had to write a motion to the USA to bring the Gooses when we were in the Lake of the Ozarks for an USA run. Remember that, Repo?
Yeah, and El Posteros.
And they all came, and we had the greatest time. And the saddest part is one of the best El Posteros I knew, Jeffro, was leaving, and he got killed by some drunken kid in a car. But you know what I mean? We all had a great time, man. And they said that was the only time that was ever done. And that's something I can, again, pat myself.
Do they still come there?
We could have done it. We could have done it with PopKorn and his guys, Jeremy and his guys. But now, man, nobody will open up them doors.
Yeah, but even if one chapter did get along with someone else, it, like you were saying, the other chapters won't, right?
Right. I mean, me and PopKorn could have been best friends. And I'd be like, hey, what are you talking to him for? And they can all agree with me on that.
Yep.
I got blood family members that are ranking officers in the clubs, opposite clubs. You know what I mean? And they know it, and I know it, but everybody else didn't know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, people who knew me since I was, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Right.
Can't talk to them, but definitely. So like, here's a situation. I went down to Sacramento to go see some family. I went with my wife and my kids, so I didn't have a bike. And I go to my cousin's house, he tells me, hey, you could hop on my bike real quick, go around the corner and get whatever you need from the store. I said, man, I'm not about to get caught on this bike, big dog. You know what I'm saying? There's people who knows whose bike this is, and I don't want to be in a conversation with anybody who knows whose bike this is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like me and you get along, we're family. I love you, but your bros will kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really messed up, man.
You'll see,
really
one of those guys riding his bike. He probably stole it or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, twice I've been offered to ride somebody's bike. I've rode plenty of people's bike, but it matters whose bike it is. You know what I'm saying? My one family member was a sergeant of arms for this particular club, so I knew he was known in Sacramento. You know what I mean? And then about 15 years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, somewhere in there, I was offered to ride a president of another club's bike home because he was putting some ape hangers in. What else was he doing? powder coating a part of the bike or some shit, but he needed to keep my bike overnight and offered to let me ride his home. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? No, thank you. I just try to think ahead,
Yeah.
If I seen somebody on a bike that I knew and it wasn't the person I knew who the bike belonged to, at minimum, you're not moving. You know what I'm saying? I got some phone calls to make and make sure we're okay.
How hard was it to walk away from it, PopKorn?
I'm the type of person that kind of like just pull the tooth, do it fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't easy, man, at all. But I that's why I had to do it the way I had to do it. I was at a bar with my brothers, and there's certain things that take place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have kids, but I had kids, but I ain't putting no smut because it's individual based that we were talking about. You know what I'm saying? And the female that I was with at the time, the mother to my kids, she was, like everybody's saying, in the middle of the And when I tell her to get the on the bike, it's time to go, and I don't get the support from the people that are supposed to support that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what, man, I do a lot of risk in the biscuit. Anytime you put that cut on, you know what I'm saying? There's a tattoo on my head of a dude who pulled that cut on. He's not with us no more. So it ain't always about jail. You could die doing it. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm going to risk the biscuit like that, it's got to be 100% reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also the type of person that I don't want to take nothing from nobody. Okay? If you're so happy with what you got going on that you're willing to push the respect for me to the side so you can continue to be happy, I'm going to let you be happy. I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm not going to try to change the tides and retrain people. You know what I'm saying? So guess what, man? Instead of trying to put a black eye or call some big ass meeting, you know what I'm saying, to get the crybaby right here, I want my dealt with. No, I'm not that type of dude. I just don't invest into shit that ain't already structured. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got to be a good, respectable person. I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my job, and I'm not looking to do that. I'm 44 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? I've tried to fit in. I've done all that. I'm not looking to do none of that. So how easy was it to walk away? It sucked hella bad because there were certain reasons I did it, but every reason that I was in the club was not part of the reason why I left. So it left a lot of reasons why I didn't want to leave on the table. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, when you make that stand and you leave, I got brothers that I think loved me, I think cared about me, I think they liked me, but they won't talk to me because they're hurt just as much. Because when a dude puts that shit on and tells you he's there, it's for life. You know what I'm saying? So when he backs out of it, he basically lied to you. You know what I'm saying? So all them dudes I let down. You know what I'm saying? And I got to deal with the reality of it. I can't get out of every aspect of taking responsibility. I'm not perfect either, so I got to eat what I got to eat, right? Well, I lied to a million men, told them I'd be there, and I'm not. Okay? I own that shit, though. But I will say, and it's not a rebuttal, I was also promised and told this and that about a lot of other shit, and that shit wasn't partitioned either. So, I said in that last interview, I came to be a pagan, but I was already a man.
Right.
I'll die a man. I won't die nothing else. I'll die a motherfucker man. If anybody was to send anybody after me, they're going to shoot a man in his face. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to beg my way out of it. I'm not going to put you up. Send 10, line them up. I don't give a fuck. Am I going to win? Probably not. Not even past the first one. But I promise you 6, 7, and 8, I'm still spitting teeth in your face and calling you a punk, telling you let's get it. That's just how I am. For real. So that cape bullshit, you got these little dweebs, people that you could scare with a boo. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden they're Mr. Macho Badass. I respect the dweeb that can show me how to do math more than the dweeb that can sit and try to fit in and be a tough guy. I'm a people lover. I love people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like a redneck for being a redneck. I like a fucking homie for being a homie. I don't want to see a homie redneck. Don't try to fit in. Don't try to change yourself. Be who you are and let that be the value. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's exactly it. That's 100% the truth.
Yep.
And don't forget about the breakfast girls. You know what I'm saying? They're serving
Right.
tacos.
Well, I know it was a different situation for Jeremy. He could tell his thing. With me, bro, I was pissed off
because
because
you got kicked out. They say they booted you out.
I know, and Jeremy knows that they didn't boot me out. Bro, there wasn't a member in the room that could whip my ass. Matter of fact, I could probably beat 3 of them up at a time. So they weren't going to throw me out of the club. All this little back talk, like PopKorn says, all this little like side talking. After I stood up, and this is why I'm telling you guys exactly the way it happened. My heart was broken because he's running around saying, hey, you talk to the cops. Well, every one of these guys that belong to a club know that if we get pulled over in a pack, and this is how I like to use this. You get pulled over in a pack, you're sitting there, everybody says, shut up, nobody talk to the cops. Listen, man, if nobody says anything, I guarantee they're going to have so many cops there. We're all going in handcuffs. We're all going to jail. Somebody's got to talk. So I was the one in Sturgis. Every time we got raided by 80 cops, helicopters, dogs, they'd run in. PeeWee, the cops are here. Talk to them. And I go, you talk to them. No, you're better at it. Oh, I was better at it. Hey, I tell Mike, go f yourself. Get the fuck out of here, right? And I'd go out there and I'd handle it. Every time I'd handle it. So what makes it change? What makes me change all of a sudden to where now they're saying, oh, you should never talk to the cops. You ratted. I didn't rat at nobody. Look at my paperwork. I never said a fucking guy's name in there. I never sent nobody to jail. Nobody got arrested because of me. And what I said to the cop was self-defense. When I walked up to the dude, he pulled a knife out. I hit him 7 times. Bam, 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 bam. The whole thing was because I was the president of Hells Angels, because I was registered as a professional boxer for my kickboxing. All that played a big hamper on me. So when I sat at the table that night, I could feel it like PopKorn says, in your gut. I didn't feel the love in the room. I didn't feel like I belonged anymore. So I said, hey man, how many of you guys, and there's 12 of them there, I said, how many of you guys think I disrespected this club in any way? Well, seven of them raised their hand and they said, well, you kind of did. And I said, really? Well, just that saying, I could have sat there and argued it. Like I'm telling you guys what happened. Yeah. I could have argued it, but you know what I said? This. And I owned the clubhouse and I was the president. They didn't kick me out of nothing. And all them punk ass bitches that say that they kicked me out, that's what they are, punks. Let them say it to my face. So I stood up, I unzipped my vest, I took it off, I laid it on the table, and I said, I'm done. And they went, what? I said, I'm done, I quit. If you guys don't believe in me, I don't belong to be here no more. And they're saying, man, but what do we? And I said, hey, I don't care. It's all on you now. And then some of you guys, like Jeremy knows, and Repo, that now we only got a half a Trump sign. Where is he?
No, I'm there. I'm there.
So there it
Way
is.
too much wine.
So if the guys who know this, and PopKorn wouldn't know this, but my son was a Hell's Angel. And he was in his early 30s. And he stood up and he said, well, I'm going to quit too. And I said to him, Brad, you don't have to quit. And he says, well, I'm not going to stay in here while these guys talk you and I'll beat the fuck out of them. And he would have. And he said, that's why I'm leaving. And that's why he quit. And when we both left at the same day, and it felt like the longest walk. And they come out, and the only thing they said to me was, what about the clubhouse? Because I owned it. And I said, hey, man, just keep paying the bills, and I don't give a shit how long you stay here. Just keep paying the bills, because everything was in my name.
Yeah, but looking back, do you wish you would have told them, get the fuck out of here?
Well, yeah, 3 months went by. They didn't pay the house payment for 3 months. I got stuck with a Cox cable bill, $500, electric bills, all this bullshit. And then they stole all the appliances, which would cost me like $5,000 to replace. So, you know, I thought, you son of a, I waited to run into one of them, which a couple of them I ran into, and I just rocked them. And they were the guys from my chart, and I was pissed about it. And,
Would you expect any less from them?
no. And 4 months later, they call me up and they go, hey, we changed your status to bad. And I said, who cares? Listen, I've never seen anybody out good that they called up and said, hey, Jeremy, man, stop by the clubhouse, have a drink with us, brother. We miss you.
Yeah.
Hey, they don't do that, right? You're out good. You're just out, man. They don't give a shit. You're out. So when I left, I was out good, and all they did is put me out bad. So the other guys that were partners with me could tell me, hey, man, the building in Sturgis, they owe me 80 grand on. Hey, fuck you, we ain't gonna pay you. So that was their way of screwing me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's an issue with me, but that's my carriage to carry there.
Yeah.
So that's why I quit. And like PopKorn says, hey, I'm a man. I walk with my head high. Even when I went into the prison, the district attorney that put me in prison, she goes out to the media and says, oh yeah, PeeWee Charles Goldsmith's kicked out of Hell's Angels for cooperating with the police. And they put it in a paper. So then I get into prison and I got to deal with these goons that knock me in the head with a rock, and I get up, take off on them. And then they go, man, that old guy can fight. And I was 57 at the time. And these guys were in their early 30s. And I was like, am I the old guy? I guess I was the old guy. But the old guy didn't get whipped. I whipped their asses, you know? And then it was like, then they put me in this unit. It was a dropout unit of all like there was like 2 outlaws in there. There was a Hessian. There was Bogos. There was Crips, Bloods, or Serranios, or Tanos. I could go on, you know? One Sons of Silence guy that I hung around with, he sat right next to me in the yard and he dropped dead of diabetes. I mean, literally fell over dead right next to me. And he was a good dude. But we were all, they call it a dropout unit. I walked high with my head up, just like PopKorn says, because I know in my heart, I didn't rat on nobody, never did. In all the years and all the things.
I didn't get pushed out either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a damn big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna walk away or let somebody push you off, I mean, there'd just be a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't know. I ain't never been too good at letting nobody tell me what to do or take something from me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right on, bro. Well, I know Jeremy, and I know Repo's story too, and Jeremy's, you know. You guys, you tell your story, bro.
Well, like with my deal was I got caught up in it, and I basically got caught up in a case, and
Right.
fucking had nothing to do with the club. It was a personal case, and they all knew it. Isn't like it was a secret. There was nothing, you know, hidden. You know, it was all up front, and pretty much they said that at the end of the day, because of the case, I was on hiatus because of bringing heat back on the club.
A RICO.
And then on a RICO case, and then the next day put me out in bad. And I'm going, it has nothing to do with the club. It's a personal situation. But I can tell you this much, since I've been out on the outside looking in, you see a lot of you didn't see from the inside. When you're on the outside of that fence looking at the rest of the yard, you definitely see that you're a whole lot better off, because there was a lot of bull that was being pointed and finger pointing and rats and that was on the inside.
I can only imagine though that you fell on the bad side of somebody, because if you would have been the popular or cool kid, it wouldn't have mattered as much. I mean, I've watched the shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody
that's 100% the truth.
Yeah, somebody.
That's what it was.
But the other guy get away with murder. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly it. Because there's many guys that had the same similar cases that had nothing happen to them, and even all the way through my whole process of court and bailing myself out and having to do all my stuff with the court system, I still sent all my paperwork, sent all my transcripts from the lawyers, everything, every month to the nationals. Here you go, here you go, here you go. Made sure everybody was in contact with what was going on with me, to understand that I didn't rat on nobody. I didn't speak with nobody. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I mean, here you go. And then turn around and hand them the paperwork that was put on to me that were all members that shoved it up
And
my
did
ass.
they, Jeremy, come to you later and say, hey, we found out you're cool. We want you back? Jeremy
Yeah.
said,
I want to know if I'd want to come up and have a meeting and talk about coming back.
yeah, I'll skip that meeting.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
How about you, Repo?
Oh man, mine was bad because we knew two guys were informants. One was a paid rat for the feds in my case, and the funny thing was, after Tommy was killed, he wound up becoming the president. He's sitting up in New York City's house, Long Island, talking shop with him. You guys, you were talking to a paid federal informant, you dumbass. That's about as polite as I can put that. And they knew that
Billy.
They knew that dropped that case on me, and all of them bailed and ran and tried to realign themselves with Gorilla and a bunch of.
Repo, did you go to prison before that meeting or after?
No, I actually went after. I had the case prior to that, like 2 years prior to that. But like Philadelphia takes years to get you processed through everything, and
you could have just laid your patch down and said, "Damn, I'm not going to that meeting."
I could have said, "Listen, the scumbag detective," and I still remember his name, William McGrody, came to the cell unit I was in the 55th and Pine district, shook the bars. This is your last chance for amnesty. You either tell me what I want to know, or you're going to go to jail for a long time for shit you didn't do. You already knew I didn't do it, don't you? He goes, that's right. I said, well, listen, man. I said, come here. I don't want anybody to hear what I got to tell you. He comes over. He's right at the gate. I said, every night when you go home and kiss your old lady, you taste my in your mouth.
Edit that, bro. Edit that.
I pretty much knew then where it was at.
That's it.
So you go to prison, you get out, and then that meeting occurs.
I was there.
No,
I was there, bro.
That's when, there was stuff going on, but there were so many dudes that were bad, and we knew near the end of it, like we had 3 guys that were paid.
He could have laid his patch down and said, "F that meeting," right?
Oh yeah, I could have put the patch down and said them and wound up walking out of there, but I didn't take the stand. I took the 5th in my case, and there was a co-defendant that from another 1% club that was with that that took the stand.
I'm talking about when they said, "Give us your patch, Repo," and you said,
"Yeah, I think, hey, Repo, I think they would, even if you would have laid your patch down, I think the same outcome would have came."
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I was sitting there, PopKorn, and they stood up. I didn't know what was going on. I was a West Coast member at an East Coast meeting. Man, they stand up in the middle of the meeting. This is what I'm talking about. They say, "So did you guys bring all your votes?" And I see all these people doing this.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows what's going on. 3 charters raised their hand. I got mine. Bro, it's something
3.
weird, like you never seen while you were in that club.
Yep.
And they said, "Yeah, we vote. We vote yes, yes, yes." I'm thinking, what? And I'm sitting with a new member, a 6-month member. And I'm sitting there, and they stand up and they said, "All right, the rest of you guys didn't bring your votes, so we're just gonna go with the 3 charters that voted."
It should have went back.
Yeah, they go, "Philadelphia, stand up. You guys take off your patches and put them on a table." And I'm looking around like, what the?
You remember what I told him, PeeWee?
Yeah. Repo says, "F you, come and get them."
Yep.
So they walk past me, and one of the guys at the table turns to me and says, "Hey, come on, PeeWee, you're always up for a good fight." And I said, "Nah, not with brothers. Not with brothers, I ain't." And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's how I felt in my heart. So I'm like, yeah, I like to fight, but I don't like to fight brothers. And they walked over, man, and they started fighting, and it was pretty even Steven. Then the whole room got up like a pack of jackals and jumped on him.
Yep.
And man, they broke one guy's arm. Shit, they broke Repo's jaw, his neck, didn't they?
They broke my jaw, my neck, my back.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And I'm going to tell you, I said this. The new kid sitting next to me, he looks at me and he says, "What the hell is going on?" And this is what I said, bro. What you're seeing right now is the beginning of the end for all these guys.
Yep.
These guys are sharks. They're eating their own. I says, this is embarrassing. I'm sorry you saw this. I'm humiliated. I stood up. Somebody goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm getting out of here." And they go, "Hold on a minute. Ain't that guy with you a tattoo artist?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, we need him to black out." I said, "Get." We left. But that's how bad that went down.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would just have this to say. Hopefully, the same dudes with all that goddamn gumption was ready to roll when it was the opposition. You know, because I tend to see that a lot too. You know, somebody have a problem, want to hash it out with a brother real quick, but when they see the opposition, it's never in the right place. You know,
Right.
I'm on probation. Yep. There's always another excuse. You know what I mean? But I didn't like anything to do with putting hands on brothers either. And,
right.
You know, I was guilty. I had to learn my lesson the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I went there with a brother, and you know, I had to apologize to him when it came out the wash that he did not deserve that. I called him up one day and I said, "Hey, check it out, man. I don't want you to feel no certain way about it. So, you know, just man to man, if you want to meet up, you know, we can get down on the just you can get yours back in type." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says, "No, thank you." You know what I mean? But I do appreciate it. The next time it was time to get down with somebody like that, I just made my own mind up and I said, "Nah, you know, I'm not going to partake." I was told that's how I lost my sergeant of arms patch. You know what I'm saying? Not taking an order. You know what I mean? End up moving up. You know, about a couple weeks later, when it came to realization that dude, not only did he not deserve it, but it took a man to stand on his own and turn down an order. You know what I mean? Because the person, you know, who's passing you on a little what to do, he ain't even around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got boots on the ground. I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not gonna move if I can't lay my head down at night. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jeremy, you've been around in some of the times when I would get in those scuffles. And it was funny, Popcorn, because, you know, I've been boxing since I was 11 years old, right? And I won a super heavyweight kickboxing championship. So when these guys would challenge me and I get in these fights with them, I give them a boxing lesson for free, you know? But guys would stand around and say, "Come on, Pee-wee, give the guy a chance." I said, "Hey, pick the fight with a boxer." And I would I was breaking eye sockets, cheekbones, and everybody, you know. I gave this one guy still in the club, and I hate his guts. And then I hope he sees this. I hate him. He's from Arizona. You know what I'm talking about? And bro, I would stand there talking to Sonny, and he walks by me and says, "You're a." That's what he said to me, bro. I said, "You just call me a." We walked outside. He put his hands up. I hit him one time, bro. His eye bulged out of his head. And, you know, I left the club in 2010. He's still in the club. But I ran into this new kid that just got in the club like in 2015. Now he's out. And he's facing some charges for shooting people. And I was talking to him, and he goes, "Yeah." Then this one guy from Arizona transferred into our charter. And I said, "Oh, yeah, who?" And he said the guy's name. And I said, "Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I hate that piece." And he says, "Oh, you know him?" I said, "Yeah, I blasted him in the eye, a good one over in Cave Creek." He says, "You're the guy who did that?" And I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You know, he wears a patch on his eye. He lost his eye." And I said, "I knew it was a good punch, but I didn't know it was that good, bro."
Didn't you say you were at the set of Sons of Anarchy and Charlie Hunnam's like, who the f did that to him? Yeah.
Right. No, they came to Cave Creek, and I was standing with Charlie. He came up, he started talking to me. And the guy walked by, and honest to God, his glasses were like this, you know, on his face, because the eye was sticking out so far. It was actually comical, right? And he walked by, and I looked at him. He nodded his head to me, and I nodded mine back. And Charlie said, "Holy shit, he must have been in a bike accident or something." I said, "No, he got there last night at the clubhouse." And he goes, "What happened?" I said, "He said the wrong thing to me. Called me a you know." But yeah, it was funny, man. So when I heard he lost his eye, I says, "Man, I knocked the guy's teeth out at the wedding chapel. I did 3 years in prison for it. If you saw what I did to this punk, I'd be still doing time."
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
he
Teeth
doesn't
are
tell the
expensive
story
today,
like that,
Pee-wee.
I got any.
Hey,
That's it.
Pee-wee.
That's it.
Hey, he don't tell the story like that. It was a Red Ryder BB gun.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly true.
This is
That's
great,
funny.
man. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do this again.
Yeah.
100%.
It's been a pleasure, man.
yeah.
It's been awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's awesome. It's a pleasure to meet you, Popcorn.
Back
Oh,
at
yeah.
you, Pee-wee.
Hey,
And I know these
Jeremy,
other
same
two
thing,
guys a
Popcorn.
long time.
you guys are always welcome, brother. You guys all be safe.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. And what's a couple words of advice you would have for someone that's in the club that's struggling, thinking about
Get out. Get out. Get the f- out
Pee-wee's
now.
right?
Hey,
Read
Get out
Pee-wee's book.
now.
Here's the advice I would give. If you're second guessing it, it ain't for you.
It's true.
I mean,
I would
some
agree.
people belong in it, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
and all you guys can agree with me. You know who's the guys who last the longest in the club? They're the guys who don't go anywhere or do anything. They don't shake any
Yep.
trees. I call them like tree shakers, like in the movie Cool Hand Luke. I'm shaking the bush here, boss. I'm shaking the bush. So if you're
Hey,
a bush
Pee-wee.
shaker, a mover, a do-gooder, where you're going out doing shit for the club, you got to watch your back, man, because
Yep.
they're always scared of you. You scare them. But the guys who
Hey,
stay
hey.
at the clubhouse, the guys who don't go anywhere, you're going to be
Yep.
in the club for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
Pee-wee.
the truth. Huh?
How about you and I write a motion together, and we'll mail it to let Pat Matters back in.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
He fit right back in with him.
I try to be nice and talk to him, then he goes out and right on national TV and
Yep.
throws me under
Yep.
a bus. God damn it.
I would probably tell the members that are in, try to find somebody with gray hair. And shut your mouth and listen.
I'm with Popcorn.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good one, man.
That's
Look for
it.
look for the chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gray, it's chrome.
Yeah.
And if he's got all of his teeth, don't trust him.
Yeah.
Agree again, Popcorn.
Yes.
Well,
And if
thank you
they
guys.
seem shady, they most likely are.
Well, thank
It's
you
It's
guys.
been a
I
pleasure with you
appreciate
guys,
it,
man.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
we'll
have
do
a
it
great
again.
night.
All right,
All
guys.
right,
man.
everybody. I got to get on the
All right,
road.
brother.
If
Later.
you guys like this show,
Bye.
hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so
Love
you
you,
can get my
Pee-wee.
videos every
Love
time
you
they
guys.
drop. And if you don't like
Talk
this
to y'all
show,
soon.
start
All right, bro.
Yes.
Later, man.